Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. If you don't mind, please smash the like button on this video. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. It'll push the video out to more viewers. That way more people can see this video just like you've seen today. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to the channel, hit the notification bell, and that way YouTube can notify you as soon as a new video is live. And we do put out several a day. So thank you again so much for being here today. I really appreciate you guys. Let's get into this. I've got breaking news coming out from Iran. Late last night, it appears that Iran had launched a minimum of 12 ballistic missiles into northern Iraq and Syria, guys. If you look here on the screen, this is what Iran is considering a spy headquarters, or an Israeli spy headquarters in Erbil, Iraq. It was hit by multiple ballistic missiles. It's called the Mossad headquarters. It's an Israeli intelligence agency, okay? It was struck by multiple ballistic missiles, and we had several other targets in Iraq and Syria that were attacked. So Iran is claiming that the reason they launched these ballistic missiles was in retaliation for the terrorist attack that happened in Iran just about a week or two ago. We had a ceremony going on down there for General Soleimani, who was taken out by Trump in 2020. And during this event, there was a terrorist attack, basically a bombing, and it killed a minimum of 94 people, and there were several hundred people that were injured. So it was a terrible terrorist attack, and Iran is claiming that they have launched these ballistic missile strikes in Iraq and Syria in retaliation of that event. Okay? So it also appears that several of these ballistic missiles that were launched, they landed near a U.S. consulate, okay, in Erbil. So while this Mossad headquarters was attacked, there were several ballistic missiles that landed very close to a U.S. consulate. Should that U.S. consulate have been hit, we would be declaring war on Iran right now. So this is very dangerous what they were doing, and many are speculating that these attacks were not directed towards these terrorist operations and stuff like that, that these attacks were actually directed towards the United States and Israel. Okay, so that's all speculation. There's lots of talk going on about that right now. But I've got an article I want to get into here, guys. And I also have a CENTCOM press release that's going to talk a little bit about how there's connections from Iran to the Houthis supplying weapons. So I want to go over that in just a minute. But let's go ahead and take a look at this article here. This is so Iran targets in northern Iraq, Iran strikes targets in northern Iraq and Syria as regional tensions escalate. Okay, so Iran had fired missiles late Monday at what it claimed were Israeli spy headquarters near the U.S. consulate in northern Iraqi city of Erbil, and at targets linked to extremist group Islamic State in northern Syria. 4 civilians were killed and 6 injured after missiles hit an upscale area near the consulate in Erbil, the seat of Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region, according to the Security Council of the Kurdish Regional Government. Iran's Revolutionary Guards said in a statement that it had hit a headquarters of Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, in the Kurdish region of Iraq. Another statement said it had fired a number of ballistic missiles at terrorist operations, guys, including Islamic State targets in Syria, and destroyed them. So Islamic State meaning ISIS, and ISIS had claimed responsibility for this terrorist attack that went on in Iran. So supposedly these ballistic missile attacks from Iran were also targeting these Islamic State targets, right? So just wanted to put that in there for you. Israel did not immediately acknowledge the attack in Erbil, and its embassy in Washington did not return a request for comment on the Iranian allegation regarding the Mossad. The strikes come at a time of heightened tensions in the region and fears of a wider spillover of the ongoing war in Gaza. Okay, so here it says, the United States strongly condemns Iran's reckless missile strikes in Erbil And the reason why they're saying this is because many of these missiles were landing close to the U.S. consulate. Luckily, the U.S. consulate was not hit. There were no reports of injuries or fatalities or anything like that. But these missiles did land very close to that consulate, guys. And we'd be declaring war right now if they hit. Okay? So State Department spokesman Matthew Miller, he also said that the attacks undermine Iraq's stability. A U.S. defense official who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss details that had not been made public said the U.S. tracked the missiles which hit in northern Iraq and northern Syria, and no U.S. facilities were struck or damaged in the attacks, thankfully. The official said initial indications were that strikes were reckless and imprecise. Okay, that's what they had to say about that they were being reckless with these attacks, again, because these attacks were so close to the U.S. consulate, okay? So again, if these hit, we would be declaring war on Iran right now, guys. It'd be a completely different outcome, but we'll have to see how the U.S. responds to this. They did condemn the strikes, but that's about it so far. There hasn't been much more escalation than that. So, again, this is basically just stating here that the attacks were in response to the terrorist attack during the ceremony for General Soleimani. Okay, so yeah, guys, crazy situation. What's going on over there? As you can see there in the picture again, that's the Mossad headquarters completely destroyed. I also have this press release here from CENTCOM that I want to show you guys. So this is from U.S. Central Command, straight from their website, okay, January 16, 2024. This is very, very scary news right here, and I think it's important for you guys to see this and be aware of this because this is huge, okay? This is basically the proof that we're going to have to go and attack Iran very soon, okay? Because Iran is involved in providing weapons and support, intelligence, everything to all these, you know, these terrorist groups, proxies that are working for Iran. So I'm talking Hamas, I'm talking Hezbollah, I'm talking the Houthis, and so many other organizations that are operating throughout the Middle East, okay? And more of these will continue to get involved as this conflict expands. So let's go over this here. U.S. CENTCOM seizes Iranian advanced conventional weapons bound for Houthis. Look at that, guys. Look at that title. That's huge, okay? So on January 11, 2024, while conducting a flag verification, U.S. CENTCOM Navy forces conducted a nighttime seizure of a dhow. And a dhow is basically like it's usually a smaller ship, but they use them to transport heavy items. Most of the time, like, you know, fruits or vegetables or something that's just very heavy. They'll use these smaller ships to basically transport those. So the Navy, U.S. Navy forces had seized one of these ships, okay? And they were conducting illegal transport of advanced lethal aid from Iran to resupply Houthi forces in Yemen as part of the Houthis' ongoing campaign of attacks against international merchant shipping. U.S. Navy SEALs operating from USS Lewis B. Puller, supported by helicopters and unmanned aerial vehicles, executed a complex boarding of the dhow near the coast of Somalia in international waters of the Arabian Sea, seizing Iranian-made ballistic missile and cruise missile components, guys. That's huge. So we've got proof that Iran is shipping these ballistic missile and cruise missile components to the Houthis down in Yemen, okay? Seized items include propulsion, guidance, and warheads for Houthi medium-range ballistic missiles and anti-ship cruise missiles, as well as air defense associated components. Initial analysis indicates these same weapons have been employed by the Houthis to threaten and attack innocent mariners on international merchant ships transiting in the Red Sea. Okay, so this is the first seizure of lethal Iranian-supplied advanced conventional weapons to the Houthis since the beginning of the Houthi attacks against merchant ships. In November. The interdiction also constitutes the first seizure of advanced Iranian manufactured ballistic missile and cruise missile components by the U.S. Navy since November 2019. The direct or indirect supply, sale, or transfer of weapons to the Houthis in Yemen violates UN Security Resolution 2216 and the international law. Okay, so now we've got Iran breaking international law, and so we're probably going to be seeing more sanctions being placed on them pretty soon. And also, as I've been saying, guys, we're anticipating an attack, a major attack, I should say, on Iran. Okay, the U.S. along with NATO and the allies are more likely going to attack them very soon. And we also have this issue. I just put out a video yesterday regarding Iran almost producing nuclear weapons, guys. They're very close to having their first nuclear bomb. If not, they already have them. And the United States has come out and said that we will not allow them to have any nuclear weapons. So, like I said, it's going to happen. I think in the short term, there's a possibility in the next year or two, maybe even sooner than that, we could see a major attack on Iran and the United States declaring war on them. Okay, so be prepared for that. 2 U.S. Navy SEALs previously reported as lost at sea were directly involved in the operation. So it looks like as well, this was very unfortunate. 2 U.S. Navy SEALs, I believe, had fallen off board on the ship, and they were lost at sea. And they're actually, as you can see here, we're still conducting an exhaustive search for our missing teammates, said General Michael Eric Correa, U.S. CENTCOM commander. Okay, the Dow was deemed unsafe and sunk by U.S. Navy forces. Disposition of the 14 Dow crew members is being determined in accordance with international law. It is clear that Iran continues shipment of advanced lethal aid to the Houthis. This is yet another example of how Iran actively sows, look at this, actively sows instability throughout the region. Okay, so they're openly blaming Iran for everything that is going on over there, guys. Everything. So the Hamas situation in Gaza, the Hezbollah situation, the Houthi situation, everything is all tying back to Iran, and everybody's pointing the fingers at them right now. They are in direct violation of UN Security Resolution 2216 and international law, said General Michael Eric Correa. We will continue to work with regional and international partners to expose and interdict these efforts and ultimately to reestablish freedom of navigation. How do you think they're going to do that, guys? How do you really think they are going to reestablish freedom of navigation? The only way they can do that is to completely remove all of these proxies, all these proxy groups. So I'm talking the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and then ultimately the head of the snake, which is Iran. That is the only way they can reestablish freedom of navigation, okay? Because at least for the remainder of the year, it appears, because we had Benjamin Netanyahu coming out and saying, you know what? This war down in Gaza is going to take us many, many more months and potentially through the rest of the year in 2024. So we've got at least 12 more months of this year where lots can happen, okay? Lots of different things can happen. And while this war is going on in Gaza, the Houthis in Yemen have stated that they will not refrain from attacking ships until that war in Gaza is over. So look at that situation, guys. Everything is connected back to Iran. But the Houthis have stated that they will keep attacking commercial ships and our Navy in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. So this is going to get bad, guys, okay? Like I said here, we've got proof that Iran is providing these ballistic missile and cruise missile, anti-ship missiles to the Houthis, okay? And then obviously we know that they're providing weaponry to Hezbollah. We know they're providing weaponry to Hamas, which Hamas attacked Israel back in October. So look at all these connections and see what's going on here, guys. This is a huge mess. This is not just a small little skirmish and misunderstanding and things like that. This is a huge operation going on over here right now. And this is going to turn into war, guys. We are going to have war. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens this year before the election. If we get to the election, I'd be really shocked to see that we are not in war with Iran or some major nation by then. You know, potentially even China or Russia or even North Korea. All these are major threats where we could easily break out into a war with somebody. So it's crazy what's going on, guys. I want you guys to be aware of this and understand that what's going on here is huge. This is really, really big news. So pay attention to this and stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to be updating you guys as much as I possibly can every single time new news is coming out here. I've got some videos I want to show you here of the ballistic missiles that were launched. If you want to take a look, we've got a couple different videos. These are some ballistic missiles that are hitting the Mossad headquarters right now. So let me turn this up and listen to this. So there you go, guys. Yeah, as you can see here towards the end, you can see that missile coming in. There's actually two of them. There you can see it right there when it's just about to land. And then, boom, it strikes. And then right after that, there's a second one. Was it towards the end or a little bit further back? I think it was a little bit further back. Yep, it was right here. Yeah, that first one that struck in right here. And then towards the end of the video, you get that other one, that other strike. I mean, look at that, guys. That's crazy. And look at that blast. It's huge, okay? So let me pull up this other video here real quick. Here's another video. This is from Iraq, actually. Let me get this pulled up here. This is from Iraq. Somebody's filming this. These are ballistic missiles coming over somebody's house in Iraq on its way to Syria. Okay, so take a look at this.
يا ولد مع صواريخ انطلقت موعول يا ولد هذا الثاني هذا الثالث هذا الثالث يا ولد هذا الثالث يا ولد باعوله باعوله هذا الصاروخ الثالث شوفوه هذا الصاروخ الثالث يا رب سترك وينه هذا الرابع اجى يا ولد هذا الرابع هذا الرابع هذا صاروخ الرابع هذا صاروخ الرابع يوم 15/1 2024 هذا الصاروخ الرابع تفي يا ولد مع صواريخ منطقة.
All right, so there you go, guys. Very frightening, right? I mean, look at that. Look at this missile just flying over this guy's house. I mean, imagine how imagine how scary that is, just seeing that thing flying over your house and knowing that that's not an airplane, you know, that's not a helicopter or anything. That's a missile flying over my house, right? Just imagine that. I can't even fathom the idea of seeing a missile flying over my house, and imagine the sound too. I'm sure you can hear it. It may not be able to you may not be able to tell in the video that there's sound to it, but I'm sure there's some pretty loud sound behind that missile when that thing's launching over this guy's house. So absolutely crazy, guys, you know, that this is happening, and you know, we're launching these ballistic missiles, excuse me, we're launching these ballistic missiles from multiple countries away. Like, it's crazy that we have the technology now to launch missiles so far away. You know, these long-range missiles, like we have North Korea with Kim Jong-un. You know, he's over here stating he's got ballistic missiles that he can attach a warhead to and launch them and literally hit anywhere in the United States that he wants to hit. Like, it's crazy that we have technology where these missiles can just fly so far away. You know, you don't even have to be anywhere close to your target. You can launch them, you know, hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away many times. So I've got one last video here I want to show you guys. This is a video of Biden being asked a question regarding Iran, and I want you guys to see his response here. And it's interesting because this was just about 3 or 4 days ago where a reporter asked him about Iran, and then look at what we see happening now. So take a look at this and listen up real quick. Let me turn on the sound and listen to this.
I've already delivered the message to Iran. They know I'm not to do anything. Hang on 1 second.
Can you continue bombing the Houthis if the attacks don't stop, sir?
Say that again?
Continue bombing the Houthis if the attacks don't stop. Will you continue with the strikes, sir?
We will make sure that we respond to the Houthis if they continue this outrageous behavior, along with our allies.
Okay, so I know towards the end there he was talking about the Houthis, but if you guys didn't catch in the beginning, the reporter basically asked him, did you deliver your message to Iran? And he said, yes, I already delivered a message to them, and I let them know not to do anything. So what he's talking about is these attacks down in Yemen with the Houthis whenever we launched this airstrike on them, the massive operation that we launched just a few days ago. He sent a private message. There was an article that came out. He sent a private message to Iran and let the president know, hey, don't get involved in what's going on down here. Don't have anything to do with this. And then just a few days later, we get Iran launching ballistic missiles into Iraq and Syria and almost hitting one of our U.S. consulates inside of Erbil. Like, think about that, guys. Nobody cares what this guy has to say. Like, and don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to get political here. I'm not trying to say that, Biden's better than some other, president or some other president's better than Biden. But nobody cares. Nobody is intimidated by Biden. Nobody cares what he has to say. And they will do whatever the heck they want to do because he'll be over here warning people, don't do this and don't do that. And then that's immediately what they do in the next 24 hours. It's like, it's crazy, to think that we have a president here that nobody is afraid of, guys. Nobody's afraid of. And we are the largest superpower, most powerful country in the world, strongest military. And clearly, by the looks of it, at least what other countries think, is that the United States is no longer the world's superpower. They don't look at us that way at all because they don't respect us. We'll go launch these strikes on Yemen, and then not even a day later, 18 hours later, they're already attacking ships again. Nobody is afraid of us, guys. We can go bomb Yemen, we can go bomb Iraq, or bomb whoever, but at the end of the day, nobody is afraid of us, and no one is going to stop these attacks, and no one is going to stop what's happening in the Middle East right now. No one's going to stop what's happening with Russia and Ukraine right now. And then whenever Taiwan kicks off with China, and then North Korea kicks off with South Korea, who's going to put an end to that? Because clearly it's not going to be the United States. Clearly it's not going to be. So think about this, guys. Really think about what's going on here, because this situation is so much more serious than even what I'm telling you. It is so serious. And there is so much, I bet, going on behind the scenes here that is not even being told to the general public. And most people have no idea how bad things are really getting. Your average person walking around in the United States right now has no idea that World War III is beginning right now. Like, this is the beginning stages of World War III, and I keep saying that. And at some point, we will have a major catalyst that will light the fuse, the explosion will happen, and World War III is going to kick off. And it's not going to be, America versus Russia, America versus China. No, this is going to be everybody taking what they want, okay? North Korea is going to attack South Korea. China is going to attack Taiwan. Russia is going to take Ukraine. The Eastern Europe is going to attack Russia. We're going to attack the Middle East and Iran, and then we're going to attack Russia. It's just going to be a giant skirmish all over the place, and nowhere is going to be safe. I don't even think the United States will be safe. It's going to be chaos everywhere, guys, and this is getting very nasty very quickly, and we have a lot of incompetent people in power right now that are not taking control of this situation, and we are going to suffer the consequences of this. We will at some point, okay? This is going to happen, so please prepare yourselves. Please take care of yourself, and take care of your families, take care of your kids if you have them, especially your little ones, and be prepared for this, guys, because this is escalating more and more and more every single day, and we never know what day is going to come where our world's just going to flip upside down. So I hope you're prepared for it. Thank you so much. I hope you guys got something out of this. I'll catch you guys in a later video. Take care and God bless.